What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are gonna talk about the banner of this Friday on Excellent and Supreme Wishes, and yes, as you can see on the screen, PAULIN is back and it's really interesting, but we are not gonna talk only about PAULIN in this video. I'm gonna detail all the heroes in the banner and try to show you some example so you can see where and why they are good or not. So first of all, before beginning, I have to tell you something. If you want to do the crash test, I have my own Discord server now. The link is in the description below, so feel free to join my Discord. So maybe in the future we are gonna be able to talk more together. It could be interesting, and why not play other games together? Because I don't know if you noticed it, but here, as you can see on the top of my screen, there is a link to another video. I am starting to play a PC game, or it's also on Xbox. It's called Palworld, and it's pretty interesting and exciting so far. So if you want to join me on my adventure, you can feel free to contact me on my Discord, or directly message me, DM me on Discord if you want. So enough talk about that. Let's concentrate on the banner. First of all, let me hide it 1 second, because as you can see, you have the trial match and you have the first copy of PAULIN inside of it. So if you need copies of PAULIN, of course, if you are planning to spend in the game, make sure that you are spending on that event. This is the cheapest way to acquire a hero on Excellent and Supreme Wishes. Otherwise, it's gonna cost a huge amount of money if you are not lucky enough to pull him. I don't know how does it work when you have some limited heroes in the pull rate, but the rates generally sucks. You can have a look to many content creators summons on this kind of banners, and most of the time or maybe it's just pure luck or being pure unlucky, but when you have a look to the pool, many content creators doesn't have the luck to pull multiple copies of them, but you're gonna have a guarantee. The 10th hero summon is gonna be guaranteed to be the limited hero if you didn't get any copy of him before. So wish you the best luck. And by the way, if you want me to summon for you, you can contact me, send me a DM on Discord. It will be a pleasure, but remember that I'm not really lucky when I do pull for me or for others. So if you want to risk to lose your luck and waste your summons, feel free to contact me. It will still be a pleasure. If you want to have some fun with me, I would do that with pleasure. So enough talk about that. So let's concentrate on the heroes in banner now. Oh, I have something more to say before. You have some extra packs here if you want to buy some, and I did. And so during the week, I'm gonna produce more videos on 2 heroes. If you have a look to that, okay, you are forced to buy the first one, then the second one, then the third one. I had some vouchers, so be careful when you want to spend. I'm a content creator, so I got access to some free vouchers for the work I'm producing on Infinite Magicraid, so it was free for me, okay? Here, so this is what I have. You have a first chest in which you have the basic echoes. Doesn't really matter, but you can have some legendary piece of gear and some extra summons for $10. It's okay. Depends on your budget though. On the second one, you can select one of these units, and this is gonna be great because inside you have great units. That one, Rona, is amazing, probably the best hero for the faction abyss, the foresters, a great support that can heal a lot your heroes and do many more things. She has a huge amount of speed at the beginning. She can outspeed some great units and increase your turn meta or lower the turn meta of the opponent, and so it's gonna be great if you want to control them also, because she can hypnotize them, and also she counters Jack and Roll, the limited hero. Then you have Adeline. Mine is exclusive 0 at the moment, so I hesitate to pick her or to pick my first copy of Narc, because I don't have Narc. This is one of the only units I don't have on my account. And yeah, of course, I'm not sure to pick him because I need exclusives on her for the Wuthering Coast, and I don't want to spend too many eyes on my heroes, so I think I'm gonna pick one copy of her. So you have Narc. He is great in the Faction Abyss, I guess, but outside of that, you have way better heroes. That's a great bleeder, but you have more solutions to replace him. Rista, amazing hero to increase your damage, your attack, your crit damage, and stun enemies, get more turn meta. That's an amazing hero for PvP and PvE in the Wuthering Coast or the guild boss mainly. And finally, you have Aether. Not that much players are using Aether today. He's interesting because he can protect your heroes and he won't die because he has a seahorse protecting him first, but then the seahorse dies instead of her. Yeah, this is a girl. And she deals a lot of defense-based damage, and generally you can see some in a PvP with Brynhild. But I'm not a big fan of that guy. So, and the last pack here, you have some limited heroes, and you're also having Paulin, but I would recommend first to pick Nicholas until he gets the exclusive 3, because this is the hero that you are gonna use the most in Infinite Magicraid. Then Little Jack for PvE, so you are gonna be able to progress further, or Lydia. Yeah, maybe Lydia, because Little Jack you can have more damage dealers. Of course you're gonna deal less damage, but if you can survive, and Lydia is gonna increase a lot the damage of your entire team, so I think she is better. And finally you have the others, the most recent ones, and that's great because on my previous summons I wasn't able to get the third copy on her. So now I'm gonna pick her, and this is gonna be great. So I'm gonna produce a video to see the difference between the exclusive 2 and the exclusive 3. It might be interesting, and compare her with Melchior. My Melchior has a huge amount of attack, and I wonder how great she can perform using the set of my Melchior, but she's gonna require to have more crit rate though. Or finally you can find the limited echoes inside of it. So enough talk, let's concentrate on the banner, otherwise I'm gonna talk blah 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 all the time. The banner. So first of all, you have Paulin, a limited hero, and of course you are gonna want to pull for him if you don't have exclusives on him, or if you don't have the hero at all. It's gonna be really interesting. Also, don't be afraid to summon your excellent and supreme wishes on banners, because you can get extra rewards with some events, and also it's the only way to acquire some food in the game. So if you want to progress, even if you are free to play, you should try to spend some gems. Let me hide that 1 second. On this kind of event right here, the try much, really important. So this is the best way to acquire some summons, and make sure that all the time you can acquire at least the epic Dragon Eye. It's gonna help you a lot in the future, especially if you are free to play. So you get a lot of summons inside of this kind of events, not when you have a limited unit, because they are lowering the wishes you get, but still interesting. The best way to acquire some summons and some food and some units in the game, and this is the only way to get some food. In fact, you need to summon. So let's go back to the window, the Discord. Paulin, I think we don't need to talk more about the hero. He's more a PvP unit, but you can still use him in the Faction Abyss to clear the stage 30. He is gonna be really great for that content. Then you have Tifia, Bull, Elena, and Guhana, and they are all great heroes that you are gonna need if you want especially to push the Faction Abyss in the future. These 3 are mandatory for that. Tifia is a full PvP unit today, and I'm gonna show you some content about Tifia right after, but before, let's talk about Bull, Elena, and Guhana. So let me hide the window. Let's first have a look to Bull. Great in the Faction Abyss. You can have a look to my previous video on the Faction Abyss when I got my copy of AhkTaar, the last one, the exclusive 4. I finished the stage 30 with 3 stars using Bull in my team, and that's a great damage dealer for the Faction Abyss. Everybody is using Bull. If you check the data, everybody is using a Bull and Nereid. This is the only way to beat that stage. So of course you're gonna need a Bull, but he is weak, useless if you don't have the exclusive 3. Even exclusive 2, he's not gonna be a good hero. You need absolutely the exclusive 3, and so he's gonna start doing way more damage. In PvP, he can be used, but one more time, you need the exclusive 3 otherwise on the first attack, and this is the only attack that does mean the first one, the first turn, you want to kill the entire team in front of you in one hit. Otherwise, then the next attack on the hero is not gonna be that great. You are gonna need to stack some arrogance, and for that, you're gonna need to use multiple skills. And so if you don't kill everybody on the first hit, then probably you are dead. So this is why the hero is interesting, but he's also weak because of that. He deals a crazy amount of damage and multiple stages of damage, so if you have a Nicholas in front of you, you can one-shot the team, it's gonna work. But if you have a Melchior, maybe Melchior is gonna be better because you don't need to have a lot of crit rate on him. He has some crit rate guaranteed on the first attack if you are using the first active skill, so in my opinion, Melchior is better than Bull today. So, then you have Elena. She is interesting in both PvP and PvE, but today nobody is using her in PvP because you have Jilliman who replaced her. And also not a lot of players are using Jilliman today because you have other heroes. You have NG3 who is a limited hero and who is really, really great. And you're also having Melchior today who replaced her. She is great for PvP because she can lower the crit damage you are gonna take. She can remove buffs on enemies in AoE, inflict speed down 40%, shield your heroes if you have the exclusive 3, heal them a lot, cleanse attribute debuffs on your team, and reflect, transfer her debuffs on the target with the basic attack, and that's great. Also for the faction abyss, she's gonna be really, really interesting and mandatory. If you have a look to the stage 30, everybody is using Elena everywhere. Okay, that's fun, you don't have an Elena here. So apparently if you have great stats, you are gonna be able to clear the stage 30 without her, but trust me, this is gonna be way easier to clear the stages if you have her in your team, and this is why most of players are using her. To lower the speed, you need the exclusive 1 though. To increase, she can passively increase the crit damage of your team, so you are gonna need to have the exclusive 2 for that. And finally, the exclusive 3, you have a shield, so she is pretty interesting. Then what was the other heroes of the banner? Let me check. Elena Guhana. Guhana is an amazing hero also for the faction abyss, and she's gonna be mandatory on the sunset stages. If you have a look to the stage 30, everybody has a Guhana in the team. Of course, she does so many things to your team. First of all, with her passive, she lowers the direct damage you take by 12% passively. This is great, especially if you have the exclusive 2, it's gonna remain 12% during the entire fight. Otherwise, after the second turn, you are gonna have only 6% direct damage reduction. She can heal, she can cleanse your heroes, increase the speed of your team by 40% if you have the exclusive 1. She can lower the speed of the single target unit in front of you by 40%, block, heal 40%, increase the turn meter of your heroes, increase the attack of your team by 40%. She is a great unit to have, and in PvP she can be interesting early on if you want a turn meter, manipulator, and some heals, damage reduction, etc. So now let's talk about Tifia, because I want to show you a team that is pretty interesting to use. So I'm gonna show some battles I made. First of all, this is a kind of speed team you can have with Anita inside, you have Paulin to cleanse, and you have a space to increase the turn meter, and this is the team I decided to use. So you are gonna need to have all the heroes that can increase the damage of your Tifia, such as Lydia, and Lydia is mandatory, otherwise you are not gonna be able to do that attack. You need to play first with one hero in your team, and so she can have an extra attack, use her first active skill first, and nuke the team in front of you as I did here. You are gonna need some stuff in order to deal some damage with her, otherwise don't expect her to deal damage. You need Rista to increase her attack, and her crit damage, this is really important. And if you can have the second exclusive with Rister, she's gonna have more crit damage also, so it's gonna be better. You are gonna need to have Nicholas. Even if you don't have the exclusive 3, you're gonna have a bit more damage thanks to the exclusive 3, but even without any exclusive at all, she's gonna have the surprise gift of Nicholas and have damage increase. If you don't have Nicholas, you can use Nereid instead. She is gonna increase her damage. This is a great kind of team, because imagine that if you are fighting in 3v3, you don't know the teams that you can use, and the opponent has a faster popper. You can't beat him with your own turn meta manipulation team. In fact, use that team instead. Imagine you are in GVG, you have a team in front of you, a tanky team using NG3, etc. You have that speed team using popper and jack and roll, and also you have another control team. You want to use your Tifia here, so you can use your speed team to beat the tank team in front of you, and your control team to beat the other. So let me show you the damage. Just in case, Pauline is interesting, so if I kill Popper first, he is gonna stun my heroes, but my Pauline is gonna cleanse. Look at that. Everybody's dead in front. And now I can cleanse the debuffs. So just accelerate it a bit, and you are gonna see the damage of Lydia on the ultimate. Okay, look at the damage on Popper. And I have only a purple aura and not the best stuff on my account on her. And so yeah, the fight goes on and it's over. So now let's talk about the epic heroes that you can use. By the way, Tifia needs the exclusive 1 only, I think, to deal a lot of damage. Let me put that again. You have Lily, Liz, Yar, and Karilla. So Lily, she's not a great hero today. She is a limited unit, epic one, but trust me, she's not that great. In fair arena, she might be interesting to increase your turn meta, heal your heroes, shield, and increase your stats, offensive stats with some buffs, but she's not used outside of the fair arena. She is not a great hero. Then you have Liz, and it's pretty funny because she is still played in many contents in the game today. Even in endgame, you are forced to use her in the Faction Abyss if you want to progress. So let me hide that. Go to the Faction Abyss, Doom Legion, so I have to concentrate on that faction to get some more stars because I have everything to beat the stage 30. But if you have a look, you have a Liz everywhere. Everywhere, because you have only 2 great supports in that faction. You have Aylat and you have Liz. So that's pretty funny to still use a Liz today because she was the first support we built early game and we are still using her. She's also going to be great in the Tower of Mark. I'm pretty sure that some players cleared the stage 30 using her. If you have a look to the low power lineup, yeah, you have a Liz, but of course you have Dianmu and Indra. Using Indra, you can one-shot everything, so this is why he was able to clear that. But she is a great support. She can heal a lot, cleanse dots, she can shield a lot your heroes. This is a great unit today. And then you have Yar in the Forgotten. Another great hero for the Faction Abyss, but only for the Faction Abyss. He can shield your heroes 40% of his max HP. He can increase his own turn meta, heal your heroes, and apply a resistance up 50% on your team, which is great, and cleans dots, so it helps on waves. The resistance up in Faction Abyss can help you to resist the stun of the boss on the last wave, so it helps a lot. Great unit to use, and some players managed to clear the stage 30 of the Forgotten using him. You are gonna see that in a moment. Yeah, look at that. You have Yar in many teams. But in my opinion, this is clearly not the best support you can use because you have others that are also interesting if you already have some heals in your team. For example, if you are having an Esther with a lot of healing effect on her, you don't need to use Yar. And instead, you can use that guy. Muradin, he can increase your tenacity by 30%, apply consolidation 1. This is the only consolidation you have in the faction. and defense up 60%, and also lower the resistance of the enemies. So this is a great unit, better than Yar in my opinion. And you have a Rumble to lower the speed of the boss by 40%, better than Gramdy. Gramdy can't lower the speed more than 20% on the boss if I'm not mistaken. Because if I have a look to him, you can apply the speed down on enemies. He's immune, yeah, when he takes some damage. If the attacker is already under speed down status, he can inflict a freeze. Reduce the speed by 20% for 30 turns. But then, basic attack, no, I don't remember. Yeah, this is one hero that I don't remember that well. Okay, from target and the speed down. No, I'm sorry, I don't remember, and I don't want to waste your time to read that. This is not what I'm usually doing. So, one last unit, and it's Karela. Early game, she can be really interesting in the blue mark tower. She is gonna be able to remove the buffs of the boss. No, that's not that faction. Come on. Eternal Sect. This is Karela. I think this is that buff. Removes all buffs from a single enemy. So it's really interesting for the Tower of Mark if you need someone to remove the shield of the boss. And then she's gonna apply block buff, but it's not gonna work on the boss. He can still apply the shield even if he has the block buff on him. Then she has an interesting passive. She's gonna grant more resistance to your team, and she can cleanse all control debuffs from an ally whenever they are inflicted with a control debuff. It can help you a lot, but I don't know if it is random or not. Imagine having that on a PvP team. You are gonna get one hero cleansed directly if he takes a control. If it is a space or another turn meter manipulator, you can take advantage of that, especially if the other units that you are playing are immune to control. Imagine using that in a team with a Popper and also an AhkTaar. When she has a shield, she's immune to controls. So it can be interesting to do this kind of stuff. Then she can silence, lower the speed of enemies, and lower the effect hit. So this is an interesting hero. Maybe I'm gonna try her in the future. I don't know, who knows. So that was all for the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If it's the case, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a nice day, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.